Lovely viewers, gather close and get ready, because today's story is one that will make your hearts flutter, your eyes sparkle, and your smile stretch from ear to ear. The moment the unseen footage dropped, fans didn't just react, they exploded. The internet shook, timelines froze, and millions of hearts hit pause as they stared wide-eyed at their screens. What in the world were they witnessing? How could something so intimate, so gentle, and so achingly beautiful suddenly appear for everyone to see? It felt like stumbling upon two stars who had finally stopped shining for the cameras and were simply glowing for each other, and for the tiny miracle of a family they've built. The footage begins quietly, almost shyly, as if it wasn't meant to be found. A soft morning light spills across a cozy living room. The curtains ripple from the breeze of an open window, and you can hear faint laughter echoing from somewhere off camera. The kind of laughter that belongs only to people who are safe, comfortable, and in love. And then, just as fans leaned in, trying to figure out what they were hearing, Lee Min-ho steps into frame. Not the polished, poised, red carpet Lee Min-ho. Not the charismatic actor with a camera-ready smile. This version was different. His hair a little messy, his expression relaxed, and his voice warm in a way the public rarely gets to hear. He wasn't acting. He wasn't performing. He was just being himself. Someone's partner, someone's father, someone whose mornings now start with tiny giggles and the soft footsteps of family life. Behind him, a small bundle of joy toddles toward the camera, arms stretched, wobbling like an adorable baby penguin. Fans froze. Their breath caught. Could this really be? The unseen footage included their child. But before shock turned into chaos, the moment shifted again. Hye Kyo appeared from the hallway, wearing the most effortless, natural look you could imagine. No makeup, no stylist, just her, glowing with the quiet beauty of a woman in love and at peace. She bent down, scooped up the baby, and walked into the sunlight with a kind of soft smile that could melt even the coldest snow. For a moment, it didn't feel like footage. Felt like memory. Like someone accidentally pressed record during a moment too sacred to share. Fans didn't scream, they softened. They whispered. They held their breath, because they were witnessing something they had only ever imagined. The clip then transitioned to an unexpected scene. Lee Min-ho holding a tiny camera, filming Hye Kyo and their little one as they tried decorating what looked like a homemade cake. You could hear him laughing behind the camera, teasing Hye Kyo gently. "You said you were good at this," as she stuck her tongue out in concentration, trying to smooth the frosting while the baby poked at the bowl with messy fingers. "Yeah, don't film this part," she said playfully, swatting at him with the back of her hand. But he zoomed in closer, chuckling like a mischievous teenager who had just discovered his favorite hobby, capturing the woman he loves in her real, unfiltered glory. And the fans watching. Oh, they fell apart. The comment section exploded with everyone saying the same thing. "We've never seen them like this." The next part of the footage almost felt like a dream. The video cut to nighttime. Imagine fairy lights twinkling above a small balcony, a warm blanket thrown over the railing, and the soft hum of soul glowing in the background. Hye Kyo sat on the outdoor sofa, their baby asleep on her chest, while Lee Min-ho played with a small guitar, humming a tune that felt like a lullaby. He wasn't performing for fans. He was singing only for them. And the moment he looked up and met her eyes, viewers felt their own hearts flutter. Because she didn't smile with her mouth. She smiled with her eyes. Tender, adoring, full of a love that was clearly deeper than any script could ever write. This wasn't drama chemistry. This wasn't fanfiction. This was real. The camera captured the way Hye Kyo reached out with one hand, gently brushing her fingers across Min-ho's cheek, whispering something too soft to hear. He leaned into her touch, instinctively, lovingly, like someone who had found his home. And right there, in that quiet balcony moment, fans realized the truth. These two didn't just love each other, they adored each other. The footage then shifted again, this time to a golden afternoon at what looked like a private garden or secluded park. Lee Min-ho was on the grass, lying on his back while their baby climbed all over him like a tiny, giggling adventurer. Hye Kyo stood nearby, holding a camera of her own, capturing every second while laughing so beautifully the sound alone could melt steel. "Look at you too," she teased. "Matching energy." Min-ho grabbed the baby gently and held him above his face, making weird noises just to elicit those adorable baby giggles. When the child squealed in delight, Min-ho's reaction was immediate. His whole face lit up like the sun. "Did you get that?" he asked, still smiling like a proud dad who had just won the cutest dad ever award. "I got everything," Hye Kyo said softly, with the kind of voice that carries love like a secret. Fans couldn't handle it. The entire internet felt like it was blushing. Seeing Lee Min-ho in dad mode. Seeing Song Hye Kyo capturing moments like she never wanted to forget a single second. It was overwhelming in the best possible way. Then came the scene that made the entire fandom absolutely lose control. It was evening again. The baby was asleep, the house was quiet, and Lee Min-ho whispered from behind the camera. "Should we tell them?" Song Hye Kyo, curled up on the couch in one of his oversized sweaters, looked up with a shy smile. "You really want to share this?" "I think it's time," he answered softly. "They've followed us, supported us. Maybe seeing this side will make them feel closer." She hesitated for a moment, glanced toward the baby monitor, then looked back at him. "Okay," she whispered, her eyes softening. "But only the sweet parts." Min-ho laughed quietly. "Everything about you is the sweet part." Fans screamed. They cried. They melted into their chairs. Because this wasn't just romance. This was a man who was hopelessly, sincerely, deeply in love with his wife. The next clips were a montage. Tiny, heartwarming snapshots of their life. A rainy day with Song Hye Kyo dancing around the living room while Min-ho filmed her from the couch, laughing like he couldn't believe how lucky he was. A quiet morning where Lee Min-ho fed their baby, making airplane noises while Hye Kyo giggled behind the camera. A moment in the kitchen where he hugged her from behind while she cooked, his chin resting on her shoulder as their child babbled happily from a high chair. A soft moment where Hye Kyo traced her fingers through Min-ho's hair while he slept on the couch, utterly exhausted, the baby napping on his chest. A clip of them trying to take a family photo but failing miserably because the baby kept reaching for the camera. There were no scripts, no scenes, no retakes, just love, raw, real and radiant. And then the final clip. The camera was placed on a shelf, recording the family unknowingly. Song Hye Kyo walked into the frame first, holding the baby. Lee Min-ho followed behind her, wrapping his arms around both of them in a gentle embrace from the back. They stayed like that, quiet, close, breathing together. Then Hye Kyo whispered, "We should keep these moments forever." After that final scene, where the three of them held each other in that quiet, almost sacred embrace, fans assumed the video had ended. But suddenly, the screen flickered, and a new clip appeared, this one clearly unedited, raw, and captured almost by accident. It showed Lee Min-ho attempting to quietly tiptoe away from the crib where the baby had just fallen asleep. He moved with the precision of a spy on a mission, exaggeratedly slow, balancing on his toes, face twisted in concentration. Behind him, Song Hye Kyo tried her best not to laugh, covering her mouth with both hands. But the moment Min-ho reached the doorway, his foot got caught on a plush toy and he stumbled. Not enough to fall, but enough to panic. He froze. She froze. The baby shifted in the crib. Min-ho mouthed dramatically. "Did he wake up?" Hye Kyo leaned forward, listened carefully, then whispered back with a grin, "You're safe." The relief that washed across Min-ho's face was so genuine, so hilariously dramatic, that viewers couldn't help but burst into laughter. It was the kind of moment every new parent knows. The silent battles, the exaggerated caution, the unspoken teamwork of trying to keep a sleeping baby asleep. But then came something even sweeter. As they walked out of the nursery together, you could see Min-ho reach for her hand. Not loudly, not performatively, but with the instinct of someone whose hand naturally finds the one it belongs to. And she intertwined her fingers with his just as naturally, their hands swinging gently between them as they walked down the hallway toward the living room. The next clip felt like a treasure within a treasure. A scene clearly filmed late at night, the room dim except for a small lamp. Hye Kyo sat cross-legged on the floor, sorting through baby clothes and tiny socks while humming softly. The kind of soothing hum a mother doesn't realize she's making. Lee Min-ho appeared from behind the camera and sat beside her, resting his chin on her shoulder. They didn't speak at first. They just existed together in that peaceful, domestic silence. And then he said, in the softest voice, "Do you ever think about how different life used to be?" Hye Kyo paused, looked down at the baby onesie in her hand, and then smiled faintly. "Sometimes," she said, "but not in a way that makes me miss it." Min-ho nodded. "Me neither." She leaned her head against his, and he kissed her temple, the kind of slow, gentle kiss that carries gratitude. "I like this version of us," she whispered. Fans didn't just watch, they felt that whisper. A whisper from a woman who had lived through enough of the public eye to know the value of a quiet life. A whisper from someone who had chosen love again, and found it to be warm, safe, and beautifully ordinary. The footage then cut to a playful moment. Min-ho trying to assemble a baby playpen while completely ignoring the instruction manual, insisting he knew what he was doing. Meanwhile, Hye Kyo filmed him with the camera, laughing as he repeatedly attached pieces backward. "Let me help," she offered between giggles. "I got this," he declared confidently, holding the manual upside down. 10 minutes later, the playpen collapsed on itself like a defeated tent. Hye Kyo nearly fell over laughing. The baby, sitting nearby, clapped, thinking this was a performance. And Min-ho, embarrassed but laughing too, bowed dramatically to his tiny audience. "Appa tried," he said with theatrical sadness. "You did well," Hye Kyo teased, patting his shoulder in exaggerated sympathy. But then came something even more heart-melting. The baby crawled toward Min-ho, grabbing his hand. Min-ho's face softened instantly, and he kissed the baby's forehead, whispering, "Thank you for supporting Appa." Hye Kyo captured the entire moment, her laughter fading into a warm, full smile. The next scene shifted to a sunny kitchen. You could hear soft music playing in the background, and Hye Kyo was trying to teach Min-ho how to make one of her favorite comfort dishes. But Min-ho, being Min-ho, kept tasting the ingredients instead of following directions. "That's for the dish," she scolded gently, tapping his hand when he reached for another bite. "I'm checking the quality," he argued. "You're stealing," she corrected. He leaned in, kissed her cheek and said, "Stealing from my wife doesn't count." She pushed him away lightly, but her blush gave her away. And as she chopped vegetables, Min-ho wrapped his arms around her waist from behind, swaying her gently to the rhythm of the music. She pretended to be annoyed, but her smile was unmistakable. It was simple. It was domestic. It was real. Then came one of the most unexpected clips, clearly recorded during a family outing. The three of them were at a quiet riverbank, the baby bundled in soft layers, sitting between his parents on a picnic blanket. Lee Min-ho held the baby's tiny hands, helping him splash gently in the shallow water, while Hye Kyo filmed them with the sunshine catching in her hair. "You two are the same," she said from behind the camera. "Both easily excited." Min-ho grinned, splashing water toward her. "Yeah," she yelped, shielding herself. "The camera." But he only laughed and splashed her again, and she chased him while still holding the camera, laughing, running, scolding, but ultimately glowing with happiness. The baby's delighted squeals in the background made the clip feel like pure sunshine captured on film. Then suddenly the footage softened again, this time showing a quiet moment indoors. Hye Kyo was feeding the baby, humming softly, while Min-ho sat close beside them, simply watching, not filming, not speaking, just watching them with a look so full of emotion it almost hurt to witness. At one point, the baby reached out and touched Min-ho's face, and Min-ho closed his eyes like the touch was something sacred. Hye Kyo glanced at him and smiled, whispering, "He loves you so much." Min-ho opened his eyes, voice barely audible. "I love both of you more." Fans who saw this moment felt their hearts swell, because the way he said it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't scripted. It was the kind of softness a man only shows when he is completely, unquestionably in love. And then, as the camera captured a final lingering moment of their quiet closeness, something unexpected happened. The baby said a tiny, garbled version of "Appa." Hye Kyo gasped softly. Lee Min-ho froze. Then he choked out a laugh that sounded suspiciously like he was trying not to cry. Did he just? Hye Kyo nodded, beaming. Yes. He said "Appa." Min-ho's eyes glistened as he scooped his son into his arms, holding him close. He kissed the baby's forehead again and again, whispering, "I love you. I love you. I love you." It was the purest moment of the entire footage. Raw, unguarded, overflowing with parental love so deep that viewers couldn't help but feel emotional. After Min-ho held their baby close, whispering those soft, emotional words, Hye Kyo reached out and gently cupped his cheek. The camera, still rolling on its own, captured her expression in perfect clarity. She looked at him the way people look at their whole world. The kind of gaze that holds gratitude, love, relief, and a future all at once. "You're such a good father," she whispered. Min-ho blinked, stunned. Not because he didn't know, but because hearing it from her meant more than anything. "I'm trying," he said quietly. "I just want him to grow up knowing he's loved." Hye Kyo smiled. "He does. He feels it. So do I." For a moment, the two of them leaned into each other, their foreheads pressing together gently while their baby babbled in Min-ho's arms. It was such a small gesture, but one that said more than any grand declaration. Their love wasn't loud, it was steady, warm, rooted. The next clip, however, shifted the mood entirely, not in a sad way, but in an unexpectedly emotional way. It showed a rainy evening, the type where the world feels hushed and gentle. The camera was propped up on a shelf again, recording without them noticing. Hye Kyo stood by the window holding the baby, rocking him softly while humming a familiar lullaby. Then the camera caught Lee Min-ho walking toward them slowly, quietly. He slipped his arms around both of them from behind, resting his chin on her shoulder. "Do you want me to take him?" he whispered. She shook her head. "He likes it when I hold him like this during the rain." Min-ho kissed her shoulder. "I like it too." They stood like that, swaying gently, breathing in sync, listening to the rain tapping softly against the window. The scene was so peaceful that fans watching felt as though they, too, were inside that room, feeling the warmth. But what made this clip extra special was the way the baby tightened his tiny grip on his mother's shirt while leaning back slightly toward his father's chest. It was such a pure moment of trust. 3 hearts, 1 rhythm. The footage transitioned to something lighter. A late-night conversation between Min-ho and Hye Kyo after the baby finally fell asleep. They were sitting on the couch, wrapped up in a shared blanket, sipping warm tea. The camera captured the ordinary magic of their conversation. "You know," Min-ho began, staring at the mug in his hands, "I used to be terrified of being a father." Hye Kyo turned to him gently. "Why?" He chuckled softly. "Because I thought I wouldn't know how to love correctly." She blinked at him, surprised. "But you love so gently." He exhaled, finally looking at her. "Because of you. You taught me." It hit her so deeply that she didn't speak for a moment. Instead, she leaned her head on his shoulder and whispered, "We're teaching each other." The camera caught the way Min-ho closed his eyes, like he was letting those words sink into the deepest part of him. The next clip was unexpectedly cute. Min-ho trying to read a bedtime story. But instead of reading softly, he used exaggerated character voices, making the baby squeal with laughter. Hye Kyo, filming from the doorway, couldn't stop laughing either. "That voice is terrible," she teased. "This is talent," Min-ho insisted in a dramatic voice. "This is noise," she corrected, laughing harder. But then, just as he finished the story, the baby reached out and hugged Min-ho's neck tightly. Min-ho froze, eyes wide with surprise, then melted completely. He hugged the baby back, rocking gently while whispering sweet nonsense in the softest tone. Fans later commented that this particular clip was the moment they fully understood. Lee Min-ho wasn't just playing father. He was living it, and loving it,